I last left off introducing Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic's book, Confidence, and how Americans overvalue confidence while undervaluing competence. To reiterate, Tomas documents how confidence, or feeling able, can lead to an inflated sense of self, rather than increased competence, or being able, thus setting the overconfident or unjustifiably confident individual up for potential failure and misery. He also draws connections between this emphasis on confidence to the rise of both narcissism and depression through the years, as well as the growth of the self-help industry. But just like with any self-help book, which confidence is, he refuses to explore any cultural solutions, focusing exclusively on the individual. Although he seems critical of related social issues, such as narcissism, he nevertheless ultimately advocates that his readers manipulate others and themselves in self-centered fashion in order to get what they want and be successful. Before going on to cite him directly, Tomas echoes some of the key principles of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, writing that, "The only person who really cares about what you think is you." Carnegie presented this exact line of thinking in relation to how he thought you should go about winning friends. And just like with Carnegie and his own book, this is a central point of contradiction in Confidence, as Tomas will also go on to advocate that his reader be genuinely interested in other people. The problem, of course, as I have spoken elsewhere, is that if everyone only has their own self-interest in mind, then no one can truly be genuinely interested in anyone else. This is excluded from the realm of possibility, and thus, everyone should have long ago realized that anyone showing interest in anyone else only truly has their own interests in mind. And where is there room for friendship here? Obviously, if you're only interested in what you want, and someone else is only interested in what they want, the only possibility for bonding, or mutual trust, support, or affection is over the basic understanding of this fact, that neither of you care about the other's interests. But as Tomas continues, if you focus too much on your own feelings, you will end up worrying about your confidence instead of focusing on your competence. If you pay attention just to yourself, you won't have time to pay attention to others. If, on the other hand, you pay attention to others, which, admittedly, includes what they think of you, you'll be able to succeed in social interactions and more. Remember, it's the rule, not the exception, that we are self-focused. So if you act interested in others, they will think you are special. It is not at all bad advice to try not to focus so much on your own feelings or yourself in general when you are interacting with others. The problem is that what Tomas is in fact advocating for is that you, his reader, put up a complete and total facade. Learn to appreciate others, even if it means faking an interest in them, and they will like you. As Dale Carnegie, the most successful self-help author of all time, wrote, "Of course, you are interested in what you want. The rest of us are just like you. We are interested in what we want. So the only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it." And here's where the whole being genuine comes in. The problem, as I believe it is very reasonable to point out, is that you are either faking interest or being genuinely interested. You can even be somewhere in between, but the two are exclusive to each other. What Tomas means is that you should fake being interested in other people. And faking, as Tomas adds, is a key behavior you need to be able to emulate because the principal aspect of life, or at least in relation to your potential for success, is what others think of you. Wrapped up all together, one of the central messages of the book is that you should not deceive yourself with unwarranted high confidence. This is not a path to success, so deceive other people instead. A veritable anchor point for his work, Tomas even presents a whole section in the middle of his book recounting Dale Carnegie's advice on how to influence people, rehashing out his every rule for how you can manipulate other people to get what you want from them. Even 80 to 90 years later, keeping in mind that Confidence was published in 2013 and Carnegie's book in 1936, it would certainly seem as if the self-help author of today must, out of necessity, pay homage to Carnegie and his ideas and his wily tactics. In sum then, Tomas starts on an important line of thought, questioning the extent to which our culture overvalues confidence, pointing instead to the useful nature of low confidence and how it can be used to increase competence. He even highlights how depression and anxiety have their own benefits, how they can be viewed as signals that we should acknowledge and listen to rather than cut off in favor of trying to feel great. But then his whole analysis instantly devolves into, just go manipulate people and take advantage of others for your own success. He takes on the American cultural commandment, just be confident, only to substitute it with the permission, go be a parasite. And it only gets worse from there. Tomas doubles down on the idea that you should put up a facade in order to live an accomplished life, advocating that you create an entirely false persona so that you can be liked. Under the heading, successful people are rarely themselves, Tomas emphasizes that if you want to be successful, you must stop yourself from being you. The only people who are themselves are people with no social skills, and they are rarely successful. Make every possible effort to disguise your natural you, whoever that may be, and portray the best possible version of yourself to others. You will reap the benefits. Although we often think of exceptional achievers as genuine people, the truth is very different from this urban legend. Instead of being themselves, successful people tend to create attractive reputations, which means they are good at getting others to think highly of them. As Tomas echoes elsewhere, be likable. Under the heading, if you fake it, you'll make it, Tomas adds, the famous fake it till you make it cliché is not a bad piece of advice. If you can fake it, then you can fool other people into thinking that you are competent, which will result in positive feedback, and in turn, a deserved confidence boost, even if you think you don't deserve it. Concerning faking it, Tomas continues, when you perform, it is useful to fake confidence because it will make you seem more competent to others. Failing to do so is like not exaggerating on your resume, because most people will assume that you are exaggerating. Only people with undisputed, expert credentials can afford not to brag. Faking modesty is now so common among experts that it is often a good strategy for faking competence, a sort of double bluffing. So here's my advice. When you are competent, fake modesty. When you are not, fake competence. And if you cannot fake competence, then try to fake confidence. To emphasize then, according to Tomas, you should not just stop at presenting the best version of yourself to others, but should strive to create an entirely false personality in order to make people like you. You should care about others, even acting genuinely interested in them, but in Carnegian fashion only to the extent that you can take advantage. Focus on others, or at least fake doing so, because it will help you advance and gain success and status. If you can't fake one thing, fake another. It is quite ironic that one of Tomas's first points is that the majority of people who are confident are simply deceiving themselves, elevating their own sense of self even to the point of being narcissistic, a point Tomas seems to criticize. But he only turns around in the end to advocate that his reader follows a path that will lead them to becoming nothing short of a sociopath. Indeed, it seems suitable to note that our culture has produced at least a few serial killers who, up to the point they were caught, had created good public reputations. But, of course, according to Tomas, it is humility paired with competence that people truly value, not just confidence. The minute people perceive that you have more confidence than competence, Tomas writes, they like you less. First, where is there room for actual humility if you have already decided that your success and status can be bought at the expense of using others, up to and perhaps even beyond the point of lying to them and manipulating them? Second, people do not shut up about how much they like confidence in others. Are they simply deceiving themselves on this point as well? Again, in the very introduction of his book, Tomas outlines that one of the main reasons for his book is that too many people assume that higher confidence is advantageous. Although this assumption is unfounded, it has nonetheless encouraged a mindless and often self-destructive quest for higher confidence. So which is it? Do people overvalue confidence, or do they just deceive themselves into this line of thought and behavior? Regardless, the bottom line, as I have argued before, is that if you have such a genuine disregard for your fellow human beings as to only treat them as a means to an end, you should be shunned and ostracized. If, mind you, we are going to live in a polite society. The problem, or at least so it would seem, is that we don't. Lying and manipulating others for our own gain long ago became a normalized aspect of our culture. And this ties in well with Cain's Quiet, which I covered in my last set of videos, and the cultural history she provides, how character, or qualities like duty and honor, took a backseat to developing a personality, culturally speaking. While she also attempts to filter a broad range of issues through the introversion versus extroversion dichotomy, You can also easily extract from her work the narrative of how we have been bending the knee to corporations and our bureaucratic system, at least since the mid-20th century. Pulling from his LinkedIn, it should not be surprising, given his own narrative and how he essentially gives his reader the permission to be a parasite, that Tomas is an international authority in people analytics, talent management, leadership development, and the human-AI interface. According to his own website, the selected clients he has lent his expertise to includes Spotify, JP Morgan, Walmart, the United Nations, the BBC, Google, the World Bank, LVMH, Red Bull, Unilever, the British Army, and Samsung. I have already nodded to the dangers of psychology. If that has any bearing on reality in our crony capitalist world, I am not sure if it gets much worse than organizational psychology. It is certainly not at all shocking that such an individual would advocate for manipulating others in true Carnegian fashion. Indeed, by what other means can our corporatized and bureaucratized world possibly be perpetuated? But I will leave it off there until next time. I hope to see you there.